I'm down here again for this memorial. I'm a veteran of World War II. Um, all of us veterans, we're all in the same boat in terms of what we stand for and what we don't stand for. And we've come here to have a memorial for the people who have died in Vietnam and Afghanistan, including many of the innocent civilians who have died in these places. And we've also come here in order to affirm our right to assemble, and in terms of this memorial, to petition the government for redress of the grievances.
My name is Captain Lombardo with the New York City Police Department. You have been warned to vacate the premise. You may still leave voluntarily if you wish to do so. If you do not leave, you will be arrested for trespass.
I'm here today because I served in the Army for 5.5 years in 4 tours, and I feel like there's something very wrong in the military when it comes to how suicide is treated and how I feel like the programs are inadequate to treat the epidemic of suicide in the military. My name is Micah Turner, and I will probably be arrested in the next hour for reading the names of the fallen soldiers at a Vietnam memorial.
My name's Mike Tork. I'm a combat veteran from Vietnam. I was there 65 to 67. I'm now a member of Veterans for Peace, and we've met here at the New York Vietnam Veterans Memorial to remember the fallen on this wall. There's some 1,400 people that died, and we want to be a voice for the voiceless, and so that their deaths aren't in vain. So we're here for that reason. We're here because we also feel it's a right to assemble and air our grievances with our government. Again, we believe that's a First Amendment right. So that's the other reason why we're here.
Well, basically, this memorial used to be open all the time, and then a couple of years ago, they claimed because of Occupy, they decided to arbitrarily close this Veterans Memorial at 10 o'clock at night, and which is a time when most veterans would come out here and find some solace. And now they're going to arrest us for refusing to leave our memorial. And I served for 3 years in the infantry myself, and I think it's absurd that I can't be here anytime I feel like being here.
To me, it's a freedom of speech issue and a freedom of assembly issue. There was no curfew in the War of Vietnam. There's no curfew in any war. The shooting goes on past midnight, past 10 o'clock here. And my reading of the First Amendment, Congress shall make no law abridging the free right of the people to freely assemble and to have freedom of speech. So that means no curfews, no permits for demonstrations. Somebody's made some laws that are anti-constitutional, and when it comes to Vietnam, you know, there was no curfew. The war didn't stop at midnight. So if you're going to honor the vets, then the memorial has to be open 24/7. It's like many of them are, actually. And otherwise, it becomes a trap for veterans. You know, last year they were standing here, putting flowers, lighting candles, reading the names, and they got arrested.
But I want you all to know our struggle and our argument is not with the NYPD. Okay, so as veterans, we ask you to all respect that. We're not here to give them a particular hard time. That's not our purpose here. Our purpose is to affirm and to stand strong on 4 reasons, 4 things we're here for. 1, we're calling for an end to the Afghan war after 12 years.
Yeah.
2,
yes.
We are calling for an end to all U.S. wars of empire.
Yes.
And we are speaking about the lies and betrayals that got many of these people and many of us here into those wars in the first place, that resulted in those deaths. 3, we're here to remember the fallen with the flowers and by reading their names soulfully. And 4, we are here to affirm our right to assemble.
Here, here.
None of that is placing us as antagonists with the NYPD. They're doing their job. We're happy they're doing their job. We're doing our job.
So I think besides symbolizing how we are all bound together, our brothers and sisters here are also standing for all of those that can't or will not stand for themselves.
James Crab McIntosh, Woodside. He was in the Army. Robert J. Jr. McKillop, Army, New York. Staff Sergeant Lawrence Vincent McMahon, Marine Corps from New York.
Three of my veterans that I served with in Vietnam committed suicide. The last one hung himself in a motel room. So it's important that you know this is a sign of betrayal. One more time, because it's important that you know that your government committed immense atrocities during the Vietnam War. We did it every day. It's just important that you know that, because some of you are so much younger and that history has been denied you. So you just need to know why we are here. Okay? I was a medic in Vietnam. I saw American teenage soldiers die. So just respect that and know why I'm here. Because your government committed atrocities in Vietnam every single day. Thank you for listening.
Wars change, the lies don't.
You're arrested on the charge of criminal trespass.
That should not be enforced by you. You should feel morally obligated to not follow these orders tonight. Bingham test. Michael Albert, Michael, Nichols. Lance Corporal, Marine Corps, Raymond James Miles, Spec 5, Army, Livonia. Robert Richard Miles.
Can I ask you, why are you willing to be arrested tonight?
You know, when the anti-federalists put the Bill of Rights into the Constitution, the rights that were there were not automatically granted to people. Citizens of this country were beaten and died and suffered in order to get the rights that we have. And we are continuing that tradition of fighting for the rights that we have. I'm not looking, none of us are looking to be beaten and killed and maimed, but we're continuing that tradition of struggling for the rights that we should have as people, as citizens, as veterans.
We're going to continue reading those names. There's some 4,000 of them. So we're going to read until we're done or until we get run out. And from the looks of it, it looks like the police once again are planning to run us out at 10 o'clock. And that's ridiculous. We're having a memorial service, a peaceful memorial service.
I think it's absurd that they would arrest veterans at their own memorial because a lot of the veterans that have been affected by war won't even come out in the daytime because of the lives they lead, and sometimes they need some quiet contemplation at a place like this, and sometimes it's at 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning or any other time. So it's just absurd that they would close a memorial for veterans, to veterans or to anybody really. It's everybody's memorial wall here, but that's why I'm here.
Shame! 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 Shame!
How does this make sense to you?
How do I feel about it? I think it sucks. The idea that there is a closing time on this particular memorial, much less any other. You know, in Washington, D.C., the memorials are open 24/7. In my hometown of Woodstock, New York, the memorial is open 24/7, 365. And the idea that this particular one which is so tiny, and there's nothing else going on here. You know, there's some benches for people to sit on. You know, it's ridiculous. It's phony, because people are allowed to walk through here and sit down. You can come through. I've come through this place a number of times, and way past 10 o'clock at night, you'll see people sitting down on these benches, walking around with their dogs. You know, they're making us an example, and you know, it's gaga. It's gaga, and for us, you know, veterans, it's even more gaga. You know, it's a police state that we live in.
Personally, I think we're living in a police state, and again, it just goes with the absurdity of the entire federal government shutdown, that they would have, you know, what they call essential people out here making overtime when the rest of the country's suffering, and again, here to arrest veterans at a Veterans Memorial.
Are you planning on getting arrested?
Yes, I got arrested last year, and I'll get arrested again this year. Again, it's something I believe very strongly in. This is my right to be here. We're peaceful. We're not harming any property, and we're not harming any people.